What a week for people that hate the worst people ever.
We just got off the phone with President Trump. We have a big scoop. Pam Bondi will soon leave her job as the Attorney General.
It is just poetic justice. Every day is a new joy out here because Pam Bondi is off to transitioning to an exciting new opportunity in the private sector. We have unverified reason to believe it is a podcast. It's a MAGA Woman podcast.
I don't know why you're laughing.
But before we get into the podcast of it all, we will absolutely get to the podcast of it all. There is something buried in this story that every outlet running through the Epstein angle has completely missed, because this has a lot less to do with Schmepstein and a lot more to do with a gubernatorial candidate with a past and a present that raises some very serious questions, all allegedly. And we will get there. And you are going to want to make sure you watch this straight through to the end. You don't want to miss this. Stay right there. And Will is licking my foot. But real quick, if you're new here, I'm Lauren Paritra. Willa Paritra is below me licking my foot. And we wanted to ask you to take a quick moment to please make sure you're subscribed. We currently have a lead on Katie Miller. The lead is always too close for comfort. So please make sure you take a moment to make sure you're subscribed. Hit that notifications bell. Follow us across social and where you get your podcasts, where you listen. I am Lauren P. And consider every action, every sub, every comment, 6 words or more, every save, every share, every action as an FU to Katie and Stephen Little Bitch Miller. Okay, back to Pam.
She will be replaced by Todd Blanche, who is currently her deputy at the Justice Department. So it doesn't sound like Blanche is being elevated long term to the Attorney General. There might be somebody else that the president wants to go in there. But President Trump soon will announce to the entire world that it is the end of Pam Bondi's time as the Attorney General.
Let's start with what they are telling you. Donald Trump posted on Truth Social this morning that Pam Bondi is a great American patriot who has faithfully served as Attorney General. He said she did a tremendous job. He said tremendous twice. He probably blocked out the first time. In Trump language, 2 tremenduses is just the equivalent of being given the boot, escorted out by security, given the pink slip. The story everyone is running with, every single outlet, is like this has to do with Schmepstein, the fumbled files, the list that wasn't actually a list, the MAGA base turning on her.
So who gave the order to flag records related to President Trump?
To flag records for President Trump?
To flag any records which included his name.
I'm not going to discuss anything about that with you, Senator.
Eventually, you're going to have to answer for your conduct in this. And you won't do it today, but eventually you will. I yield, Mr. Chairman.
Trump is fuming. He's foaming at the mouth. He allegedly has been privately for months. And sure, all of that happened. But here's where it starts getting real sideways. She survived all of that for 14 months. She survived it. The Schmepstein fumble happened over a year ago, really. The base has been pissed off since last February. So Trump telling reporters on the record that the morning that he fired her, that she was doing a good job and she's a wonderful person, we don't buy it. So if Schmepstein was the reason, why today? That's the question nobody is asking. And the answer involves somebody you're not expecting. Remember that. We're going to come right back to it. So this part also matters. Before we get into the real reason, you need to understand what Pam Bondi was actually willing to do for this administration. She was a lapdog. She oversaw the firing of FBI agents and career prosecutors on a scale that made career lawyers walk out rather than stay. 2 days before she got the boot, 3 former FBI agents named her personally in a federal lawsuit accusing her of running an illegal retribution campaign against people who had investigated Donald Trump. She is being sued in federal court personally as a person for doing Trump's bidding. And his complaint was that she wasn't doing enough of it.
Are you kidding?
So that might seem normal because, you know, he's the most vindictive man on the planet until you really think about it. The math stops mathing pretty quickly here. She allegedly committed federal civil rights violations in his service, and he responded by saying, "Do more, Pam, go get them." She couldn't produce more, so she's out. That alone would be a sufficient explanation, but that's not why she got the boot. Put a pin in that. Now, the timeline gets interesting here. On the morning of her firing, Trump told reporters on the record that Pam Bondi, I can't reach it, was doing a good job, that she was a wonderful person. She rode with him to the Supreme Court. She sat with him as he prepared for a primetime address to the nation about Iran. She was photographed as his side right up until the moment she wasn't. And then he called her into the Oval Office. She begged him not to fire her. Begged. We're hearing like reports of like her being desperate. It's like, Pam Bondi, pack it up, go home, go back to Tampa. They'll accept you there. Our sources, or the sources online, describe her trying everything to change his mind, and he said no. Then he walked out, gave a speech to the nation. By the time Donald Trump reached the podium, Bondi was already on a plane back to Florida. That is already a scene. That is a scene from a show you would watch. Me too. But it still doesn't answer the question. So how did she survive 14 months of crises, and then one day it just wasn't enough? Why? So there is a name in this story that every major outlet has walked right on past. Eric Swalwell. And now this is all alleged. This is not just a Democratic congressman from California. He's currently one of the front runners in the California gubernatorial race. He has been on TV expressing shock about something Trump related approximately every 48 hours for the past 5 years. And he has a history, specifically a very interesting history, again, all alleged, of a woman named Christine Fang, also known as, and this is real, Fang Fang, a suspected Chinese intelligence operative who spent years in the Bay Area getting close to local politicians. Swalwell was her most high-profile target yet. He says nothing happened. Says he cut off contact in 2015 after the FBI flagged her. Says he cooperated fully. The House Ethics Committee looked into it in 2023 and decided not to take action. Sure. But here's where it gets interesting. Kash Patel was preparing to release the full investigative file on Swalwell publicly right now while he's running for governor in California. Patel reportedly sent agents to the FBI's San Francisco office to redact the documents for release. Swalwell has been on a cease and desist letter tour. He held a press conference. He sent one to Kash, and he did all this outside the very building where the agents were working. He called it a horrendous abuse of power. Funny choice of words. And then he announced that being targeted by Trump proved he was the most dangerous candidate in the race. We will let that land where it lands. Now, here's where this gets genuinely pretty beautiful. Back in September, just months ago, Swalwell sat in Congress grilling Kash Patel about the Epstein files. And he said on the record into a microphone, if the president is not implicated, then why not release everything? Release everything. His words. This was September 2025. That was then. Now there are files he would very much prefer to stay locked up. And suddenly releasing everything is a horrendous abuse of power that his lawyers are threatening to litigate. Alleged. That seems normal until you think about it for a second. And there's more. There's also a federal investigation into his Washington, D.C. mortgage, borrowed for a property he listed as his primary residence while simultaneously claiming to be a California resident. And his California residence, upon closer inspection, appears to be a single room in the home of a political ally. The math is also not mathing here, but sure, the FBI is smearing him. We are going to get way deeper and go much further into this in an upcoming video. There's a lot more to get into, but for now, back to Pam, because while Patel was preparing to drop the file, Bondi allegedly picked up the phone and warned Swalwell it was coming. This is all alleged. The White House source put it plainly. She was intervening due to her personal friendship with Swalwell. Interesting choice of friends, Swalwell.
May through December of 2025, we received messages at my office that said, I hope somebody shoots you and your children and your wife in the head. Pew, pew, motherfucker, pew, pew. The president can come after me. It's fine. I'm in the arena. So are these folks. But we never expected that the Department of Justice would not seek to prosecute and investigate those who are making threats against us. And that would include those on that side of the aisle. And I'm just asking for your help to protect life, because life is at risk with the environment we're in right now.
I completely agree with you. I know about several of those personally involving you. I believe one has been charged publicly, and there's something I would be happy to talk to you about off camera. But I can assure you that they are very serious They are being looked into, and I can give you more details on those. None of you should be threatened, ever. None of your children should be threatened.
Now, we're hearing that Trump was not pleased that she was doing extraordinary work for Eric Swalwell. And that is allegedly what ended Pam Bondi's career. A call to Eric Swalwell. Once you see that, you can't unsee it. So what this means in a Trump world is you can fail publicly. You can get personally named in federal civil rights lawsuits for how hard you tried. All survivable, but one phone call to the wrong person, and the wrong person in this case is a man currently running for the governor of California with a decade-old Chinese spy situation that never fully went away, and a mortgage currently under federal investigation who allegedly got a courtesy call from the attorney general before the FBI could drop what they already had on him. One phone call raises a pretty obvious question. What exactly is the nature of that friendship? And what exactly is in those documents? The implications are not subtle. Now, this whole thing looks a little bit different when you put it that way. And Pam Bondi served as the 87th Attorney General of the United States for 14 months. She chanted, "Lock her up," at the 2016 Republican National Convention. She was selected for this job after the original nominee turned out to be too controversial, even for a confirmation process with very, very deeply gutter level low standards. She begged for her job in the Oval Office while a war speech was being finalized in the next room. And the thing that finally ended her was allegedly a phone call to Eric Swalwell, who the FBI is actively building a case around. So allegedly, Todd Blanche is now acting attorney general at the time of this recording. He went to night school in Brooklyn. He has been risen up the MAGA base on podcasts. He is aligned with Stephen Little Bitch Miller, and he's ready. And we know it's probably going to be fucking worse. So as for Bondi, we have our money, if we were betting women, that she's going to start a podcast. I pray to God that's not the case, because that's the last thing we all need. And for Swalwell, we're coming back to you in the next video. So let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. Let me know what you want to talk about more next. And I'm going to go toss the ball to my boss, who's been at my feet this entire recording.